Welcome to Inkleaf, a place where we slow down, not to do less, but to see clearly. Because sometimes the problem is not lack of time, it's lack of direction. Picture a normal morning. Your phone buzzes before your eyes are fully open. Messages, notifications, deadlines, a list already forming in your head. You move quickly, but something feels off. You are busy, yet strangely empty. At the end of the day, you're exhausted, but unsure what actually mattered. This is the world Stephen Covey was describing in First Things First. We live in an age of urgency. Everything feels important, everything demands attention, and slowly, without realizing it, urgency replaces meaning. We start measuring our lives by how much we get done, not by what truly matters. Covey tells a simple but uncomfortable truth. Not everything that screams for attention deserves it. Most people don't lack discipline, they lack clarity. They fill their days with activity, believing movement equals progress. But motion without direction only leads to burnout. You can climb very fast and still be on the wrong ladder. Think about how often you say, "I don't have time." What you really mean is, "This isn't my priority." Time doesn't manage itself. It obeys values. And when values are unclear, time is stolen by noise. Other people's expectations, other people's emergencies, other people's agendas. Covey challenges the old idea of time management. He says life is not about scheduling tasks, it's about honoring what matters most before it becomes urgent. Relationships before they break, health before it collapses, purpose before regret. Urgency is addictive. It makes you feel needed, important, busy. But importance is quieter. It doesn't shout, it waits patiently, until one day it's too late. Many people spend their lives putting out fires, wondering why peace never arrives. Covey reminds us that peace is not found at the end of a to-do list. It is created when your actions align with your values. This is the heart of First Things First. A question, not a method. Are you living by priority or by pressure? Part 1 is simply an invitation to pause, to notice, to ask yourself whether your days reflect what you truly care about or just what feels urgent in the moment. In the next part, we'll explore why traditional productivity systems fail and how being efficient can quietly pull you away from the life you actually want. After you begin questioning urgency, another uncomfortable realization appears. Most of what we call time management isn't really about time at all. We plan our days around lists, calendars, reminders, and alarms. We feel productive when boxes are checked, but Stephen Covey points out something quietly disturbing. Efficiency without purpose is dangerous. You can become incredibly good at doing things that don't matter. This is why so many people feel successful on paper, yet empty inside. Covey explains that traditional productivity systems focus on control. Control the schedule, control the workload, control the chaos. But life doesn't obey systems, values do. And when your schedule ignores your values, stress becomes permanent. Think about how often you say yes out of guilt. Yes to meetings that drain you. Yes to demands that don't align with your goals. Yes because you're afraid of disappointing people. Over time, those yeses silently push your own priorities to the edge. Busyness becomes a disguise for avoidance. Covey invites us to flip the question. Instead of asking, "How much can I fit into today?" ask, "What truly deserves my energy?" That shift alone changes everything. He reminds us that the most important things in life rarely demand immediate attention. Family doesn't scream until it's neglected. Health doesn't panic until it breaks. Purpose doesn't shout, it whispers. And when we ignore those whispers, life eventually forces us to listen through pain. Part 2 is about realizing that being busy is easy, being intentional is hard. It requires saying no without apology. It requires disappointing others sometimes. And it requires the courage to live by principles instead of pressure. In the next part, we'll explore how to build your life around roles and values so your days finally reflect who you are, not just what you do. By now, you start to see the pattern. Life doesn't ask for your attention randomly. It asks based on what you allow it to. And Stephen Covey introduces a simple but powerful idea. The center of time management isn't tasks or schedules, it's roles and values. Think of your life like a wheel, not a checklist. Each spoke represents a role: parent, partner, friend, employee, creator, learner. Each role carries its own responsibilities and meaning, and each role deserves attention, not just when urgent emergencies demand it. Most people live reactively. They focus on what is loudest: emails, calls, deadlines, problems, small fires. They forget the quiet responsibilities that truly define who they are. Relationships, health, personal growth, these rarely scream for attention, yet they shape every outcome in life. Covey suggests something radical. Plan from your roles, not from your calendar. Ask yourself, what do I need to do today to honor this role? Not what looks urgent, but what matters. Not what others demand, but what your inner compass guides you toward. And with this comes the courage to say no. Saying no is not selfish. Saying no is a recognition that your energy is finite, that every yes to something trivial is a silent theft from what truly matters. Every choice shapes your life, and ignoring this truth slowly erodes purpose. Another lesson emerges: prioritize principle over pressure. Do not let urgent tasks drown out important work. Do not let crises push aside long-term growth. Life rewards patience and alignment. People who act with clarity, not haste, quietly gain control over chaos. Covey shows that balance isn't about equal time for everything. It's about consistent attention to what aligns with your values. It's about living intentionally, not reactively. It's about crafting days that reflect who you are, not just what you do. In other words, time is not your enemy. Indifference is. Ignoring what matters, even with perfect efficiency, leads to exhaustion and emptiness. Focusing on priorities, even imperfectly, creates fulfillment. Part 3 is about becoming the architect of your own life, seeing your roles, recognizing your values, honoring them daily, and having the courage to protect them from the tyranny of urgency. In the final part, we'll explore balance, legacy, and practical ways to make these principles real, so the life you live is not just busy, but meaningful. By the time you reach the final layer of understanding, something becomes clear. Life is not meant to be a series of urgent reactions. It is meant to be guided by purpose, principles, and reflection. Stephen Covey calls this living first things first, placing what truly matters at the center and letting everything else revolve around it. Think about family, health, growth, relationships. These are quiet, patient, demanding attention before crises arise. Ignoring them doesn't free time, it borrows trouble for the future, and eventually life forces payment. Covey invites us to consider legacy, not fame, not money, not endless activity, but what imprint you leave in the lives of people you care about, and how aligned your days are with who you want to be. Every small decision, choosing presence over distraction, focus over busyness, depth over noise, shapes that legacy. Balance is not about equal distribution, it's about priorities. It's about acting consistently on what aligns with your deepest values. It's about having the courage to say no, to reject the urgent for the important, and to recognize that some things can wait and some cannot. When you live this way, productivity transforms. It is no longer a frantic race. It is a quiet, deliberate craft. You stop measuring life in tasks completed and start measuring it in meaning created. You realize that freedom is not in filling every minute, but in choosing which minutes to fill. And here's the final truth. The world will always try to pull your attention outward. Urgency will demand you. Noise will distract you. Others will dictate their priorities. But you hold the power to center yourself, to act according to what matters first, to live intentionally. This is the essence of first things first. Not rules, not rigid schedules, but the freedom to choose, the courage to focus, and the clarity to know what comes first. If this story spoke to you, if it made you pause and think about your own days, then take one small action that matters. Support the journey of clarity. Like this video and subscribe to Inkleaf H for more stories that help you see the world differently. Because sometimes the most powerful act is simply choosing what comes first.